The stars glittered quietly, and the deep hum of space was almost like a lullaby. But that night something changed. A disturbance rippled through the calm, a signal that no one could ignore. It came from deep within the uncharted region of the galaxy, a place where few had dared to venture. This wasn't just any signal. It was something different, something powerful. The Galactic Council was the first to notice. They had access to the most advanced communication systems, and even they were shaken by the force of the signal. It wasn't just a transmission of words or data. It was as if the signal was alive, pulsing with energy and meaning. The sudden interruption disrupted the routine of every system across the galaxy. "Have you seen this?" Commander Rylan, leader of the Galactic Defense Fleet, spoke in disbelief as she stared at the screen before her. The signal had a pattern, almost like it was trying to communicate. But who could it be from? The source was untraceable, coming from a part of space that hadn't been explored in centuries, a place where no ships had ever returned from. "Check the coordinates again." "It must be a mistake," said another officer, but Rylan knew something was wrong. This was no glitch. This was something real. She felt a cold shiver run down her spine as the signal's meaning seemed to grow clearer. It wasn't just an ordinary message, it was a warning. Meanwhile, on another side of the galaxy, representatives from the various star systems gathered at the Galactic Council headquarters. The signal had spread quickly, reaching every corner of the galaxy in mere hours. The usual calm debates and diplomatic discussions were replaced by anxiety and whispers. Everyone had heard it. "What do we know about the source?" asked the elder Meridian leader, his voice heavy with concern. The Meridians were known for their intelligence and vast knowledge of the stars, but even they were troubled by what they had received. "No one knows. It comes from a region that we have no records of," replied the human ambassador, Admiral Thomas West, a seasoned diplomat. He wasn't used to the gravity of situations like this, but even he could feel the weight of what was happening. It's as if it appeared out of nowhere. And the signal. It's different from anything we've encountered before. It's almost deliberate. Everyone in the room fell silent. They were used to receiving communication from other worlds, but this was something else entirely. It wasn't just a warning. It felt like a challenge. Something in the way it pulsed, in the strange rhythm of the transmission, seemed to scream urgency. But what was the message? Who sent it? The alien species in the room shifted uncomfortably. The Syntherians, known for their ability to sense disturbances in the energy fields, spoke up. "It's not just a signal," their leader said cautiously. "It's an invitation." "An invitation?" Rylan's voice echoed in disbelief. "To what?" The Syntherian leader hesitated before continuing. "It's a message not from another species, but from someone who has been watching us, perhaps for a long time." This suggestion only deepened the mystery. The galaxy had known peace for so long, had assumed that no one could reach them in their distant corners of the universe. They were wrong. Someone, or something, was out there, watching them, and now they were sending a message. Admiral West looked at the others in the room, searching their faces for answers. No one had any. "We need to send a response," he said, though the words felt hollow. Who could they respond to? What did they even say? "We can't just sit here waiting for an answer," Rylan insisted, standing up. "We need to investigate. We need to know who's out there." The room was divided. Some wanted to send a delegation to investigate the source of the signal immediately, while others urged caution. But one thing was clear. They all knew that this wasn't just another diplomatic incident. Something bigger was at play, something that would change the fate of the galaxy forever. Back on Earth, Fleet Admiral Harrison was staring at the same signal. As a military leader, he had dealt with situations like this before, but something about this signal unsettled him. It was too precise, too intentional. His instincts told him that whoever was sending this wasn't looking for diplomacy. They were preparing for something far more dangerous. "This is no ordinary transmission," he murmured to his team. "Someone's trying to get our attention, and I think they've just succeeded." As the minutes ticked by, the signal continued its rhythmic pulse, sending tremors of unease through every corner of the galaxy. It wasn't just a communication. It was the first sign that something far greater was coming, something no one had prepared for. Earth's response was swift and decisive. The prototype warship Stellar Dawn, humanity's greatest achievement in space warfare technology, was brought out of its secret orbital dock. Its quantum-enhanced weapon systems and experimental shield technology represented the pinnacle of human military innovation. "Prepare the ship for immediate launch," Harrison ordered. "Whatever's out there, we need to be ready." The crew of the Stellar Dawn, handpicked from the best of Earth's Space Force, began their preparations. Captain Miranda Chen, the youngest person ever to command a vessel of this class, stood on her bridge, watching as her crew took their stations. "All systems operational, Captain," reported her first officer, Commander Jackson. "The quantum core is stable and shield harmonics are at optimal levels." The signal pulsed again, stronger this time, as if responding to their preparations. No one could predict what would happen next, but one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. The mysterious signal had arrived, and with it came the promise of something unknown. The stakes were high, and the clock was ticking. Humanity's greatest warship was about to face its first real test, and the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. As the Stellar Dawn prepared to depart, Captain Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to uncover something that would change everything they thought they knew about their place in the universe. The signal continued its relentless broadcast, a reminder that somewhere out there, something was waiting for them. The call to action had been made. The response was inevitable. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The Stellar Dawn cut through the darkness of space, its quantum engines humming with barely contained power. Captain Chen stood at the command center, her eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing their trajectory into uncharted space. The signal that had brought them here continued to pulse, growing stronger with each passing light year. "Status report," Chen called out, her voice steady despite the tension that filled the bridge. "All systems functioning at optimal levels," Commander Jackson responded, his fingers dancing across the tactical display. "Quantum core stable at 97%. Shield harmonics holding steady." The ship had been traveling for 3 days, pushing deeper into unexplored territory. Each hour brought them closer to the signal source, but also further from any hope of backup. The crew worked with quiet efficiency, but everyone felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on them. "Captain," Lieutenant Rivera called from the sensor station, her voice tight with concern. "I'm detecting unusual energy patterns ahead. Nothing like we've ever encountered before." Chen moved to Rivera's station, studying the readings. The space ahead of them seemed to ripple with unknown energy signatures, like waves in an invisible ocean. Analysis. "It's as if space itself is different here," Rivera explained, adjusting her scanners. "The normal laws of physics don't seem to apply in quite the same way." Dr. Marcus Wong, the ship's chief scientist, spoke up from his station. "These readings suggest we're entering what could be a naturally occurring spatial anomaly. Or," he hesitated, "something artificial." The implications hung heavy in the air. If these distortions were artificial, what kind of civilization had the power to alter space itself? Chen returned to her command chair, considering their options. The signal still beckoned them forward, but every instinct warned of danger ahead. Medical bay reporting increased neural activity among the crew. Dr. Patel's voice came through the comm system. "Nothing dangerous, but it's as if everyone's brains are responding to something we can't detect." "Helm, maintain course but proceed with caution," Chen ordered. "Tactical, keep weapon systems on standby. Whatever's out there, I want us ready." The Stellar Dawn pressed forward, its advanced sensors probing the strange space ahead. The ship's quantum core pulsed in rhythm with the mysterious signal, almost as if the two were in dialogue. The crew watched in amazement as streams of energy began to dance across their viewports, casting ethereal shadows throughout the bridge. "Energy patterns intensifying," Rivera reported, her voice rising with urgency. "They're forming some kind of structure." Before their eyes, the energy streams coalesced into massive geometric patterns, stretching out into infinity. It was beautiful and terrifying at once, like nothing human eyes had ever witnessed. The ship's computers struggled to make sense of what they were seeing, filling screens with cascading data. "Captain," Jackson called out. "The signal. It's changed. It's not just a transmission anymore. It's..." Before he could finish, a burst of energy washed over the ship. The Stellar Dawn systems flickered but held steady, protected by its advanced shielding. When the light faded, the crew found themselves in what appeared to be a vast corridor of space, defined by walls of pure energy. By all the stars, Wang whispered, staring at his readings. This is impossible. These energy patterns, they're older than our civilization, older than our galaxy. Chen felt a chill run down her spine. They had stumbled onto something far beyond their understanding, something that predated humanity by eons. The signal that had led them here wasn't just a message. It was a key, unlocking a door to something ancient and powerful. Multiple contacts, Jackson suddenly announced. Detecting vessels, hundreds of them, all around us. They're appearing out of nowhere. The space around them, filled with ships of various designs, some organic, others geometric, all of them as advanced or more advanced than the stellar dawn. Their sudden appearance sent the crew into high alert, weapon systems automatically tracking the nearest vessels. Hold your fire, Chen commanded. They could have attacked already if they wanted to. This is something else. As if in response to her words, a new signal reached them, different from the first, but carrying the same sense of ancient power. This time, however, it came with images, flooding their minds with visions of galactic empires rising and falling, of threats from beyond the edges of known space, of a darkness that consumed entire civilizations. They're showing us why we're here, Chen realized, her voice barely a whisper. This isn't just first contact. This is a recruitment. The visions continued, revealing a truth that shook them to their core. The galaxy was in danger, threatened by something that had slumbered for millions of years. The signal had been sent not just to Earth, but to every spacefaring civilization, gathering them here for a purpose. Captain, Jackson said, his voice filled with awe. I think we've just been drafted into a war that's been waiting to happen since before our species existed. The stellar dawn floated among the assembled fleet, humanity's greatest warship, now just one of many gathered for a purpose beyond their imagination. The ancient energy patterns continued to swirl around them, a reminder that they had crossed a threshold from which there was no return. Chen stood from her chair, her decision made. Whatever was coming, humanity would face it alongside these other civilizations. The signal had chosen them for a reason, and they would prove worthy of that choice. Send a message to Earth, she ordered. Tell them we've made contact, and that everything is about to change. The galaxy needs us, and we will answer the call. The assembled fleet hung in space, a testament to the unity of different species brought together by a common cause. The real challenge was just beginning, and the fate of everything they knew hung in the balance. The vast chamber aboard the ancient space station hummed with tension as representatives from 100 different species gathered together. Captain Chen stood among them, still processing the magnitude of what they had learned. The station itself was a marvel, a structure that had existed in secret for millions of years, waiting for this moment. The threat we face, spoke Grand Admiral Vexthor of the Arcturian fleet, his crystalline form shimmering under the chamber's lights, has been dormant since the time of the first ones. But now it stirs. The holographic display in the center of the chamber showed images that made Chen's blood run cold. Entire solar systems going dark, strange energy signatures that defied the laws of physics, and something massive moving in the spaces between galaxies. We called you here, continued Elder Kissel of the Meridian Collective, her ethereal form floating above her seat, because your species possessed something unique, something that may be key to our survival. Chen exchanged glances with Commander Jackson. They had wondered why Earth's relatively young civilization had been included among these ancient spacefaring races. Now they were about to find out. Humanity's greatest strength, Kissel explained, is not your technology, which is primitive by our standards. It is your adaptability, your unpredictability, your ability to face impossible odds and somehow prevail. The assembled aliens murmured in agreement. Many had observed Earth's rapid advancement from a pre-industrial society to a spacefaring civilization in mere centuries, a pace that defied conventional development patterns. The stellar dawn, Vexthor added, represents the perfect fusion of this human spirit with advanced technology. Your ship's quantum core resonates with the ancient defense network in ways we never anticipated. Dr. Wang stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overcoming his awe. The energy patterns we encountered, they were reading us, testing us. Indeed, confirmed a being of pure energy who identified itself as the Keeper. The network was designed to identify civilizations with the potential to face what comes. Your ship's arrival activated systems that had been dormant for eons. The chamber's display shifted, showing a massive dark mass moving through space, consuming everything in its path. The Void Hunters, the Keeper explained. Ancient beings who see all life as fuel for their endless hunger. They hibernate for millions of years between feeding cycles. Their awakening is what we have long feared. Chen felt the weight of every eye in the chamber upon her. Why now? What's changed? The galaxy's energy patterns have shifted, Casal answered. The quantum experiments conducted by various civilizations, including your own, have created ripples in space-time. The hunters sense this as prey animals sense movement. We have 3 standard months before they reach the outer rim of the galaxy, Vexthor announced grimly. Once they begin feeding, they will be impossible to stop. We must strike first, while they are still awakening. The chamber erupted in discussion, dozens of species arguing strategy and tactics in their native tongues. The universal translators struggled to keep up with the cascade of technical terms and cultural references. The Stellar Dawn's quantum core, the Keeper interjected, silencing the chaos. It can be modified to interact with the ancient defense network, to awaken weapons that have slumbered alongside the hunters. Modified how? Jackson asked, his tactical mind already working through the possibilities. The answer came in a flood of technical data streaming directly into their minds. Chen gasped as she understood the scope of what was being proposed. The Stellar Dawn wouldn't just be part of the defense, it would be the key to awakening an arsenal created by the first ones themselves. The modifications will be dangerous, Casal warned. The energy required could tear your ship apart, and even if successful, you would be the first to face the hunters. Chen straightened her back, feeling the eyes of both her crew and the assembled aliens upon her. This was why humanity had been called, not because they were the most advanced, but because they were willing to take risks others would not. How soon can we begin the modifications? She asked, her voice firm with resolve. The chamber fell silent, ancient beings studying this young species that showed no hesitation in the face of cosmic horror. The Keeper's energy form pulsed with what might have been approval. The work begins now, it announced. But remember, Captain Chen, once we start this process, there is no turning back. Your ship and crew will be transformed in ways we cannot fully predict. The alternative is watching our galaxy die, Chen responded. I think I speak for humanity when I say we prefer to go down fighting. The assembled aliens began to nod, some making gestures of respect in their own traditions. The Stellar Dawn's crew stood proud, ready to face whatever came next. Then let it begin, the Keeper declared. May the wisdom of the first ones guide us all. As the gathered species dispersed to begin preparations, Chen looked out at the vast expanse of space visible through the station's crystal walls. Somewhere out there, ancient horrors were stirring, threatening everything they knew. But humanity had not come this far to surrender without a fight. The modification of the Stellar Dawn would begin immediately. The fate of the galaxy would rest on the shoulders of its youngest spacefaring race. The coming battle would determine whether life itself had a future in this galaxy. Chen smiled grimly. It was time to show the cosmos what humanity could really do. The Stellar Dawn hung suspended in the ancient station's modification bay, surrounded by streams of quantum energy that pulsed with otherworldly power. Captain Chen watched from an observation platform as beings of various species worked to integrate technology beyond human comprehension into her ship's systems. The quantum core integration is at 87%, Dr. Wang reported, his eyes fixed on readings that would have seemed impossible just days ago. The ship's structure is holding, but these energy levels, they're beyond anything we ever designed for. Commander Jackson stood beside Chen, his tactical display showing the gathering fleet outside. Ships from 100 civilizations had arrived, forming the largest armada the galaxy had ever seen. The Arcturian dreadnoughts have taken position on our flanks. The Meridian battle spheres are forming the outer defense perimeter. How's the crew handling the modifications? Chen asked, watching as another wave of energy washed over her ship's hull. They're adapting, Jackson replied. The neural interfaces the Keeper installed are taking some getting used to, but they're holding together. The modifications weren't limited to the ship alone. Each crew member had undergone enhancements to help them interface with the ancient technology. Their minds were now linked not only to each other, but to the ship itself in ways that blurred the line between organic and machine. Captain, the Keeper's energy form materialized beside them. The final phase is ready to begin. But I must warn you, This will be the most dangerous part of the process. Chen nodded, her enhanced senses already feeling the ship's anticipation through their neural link. What do you need us to do? Your entire crew must be aboard. When we activate the final sequence, the ship's consciousness will awaken. Your minds must guide it, shape it, before it shapes you. The crew took their positions, each feeling the subtle hum of power through their enhanced nervous systems. The ship had always been more than just metal and energy to them, but now that connection was becoming literal. All hands, this is the captain. Chen broadcast through both conventional channels and their neural network. Brace for final activation. Remember your training. Remember who we are. The keeper initiated the sequence. Energy cascaded through the ship, through the crew, through reality itself. Chen felt her consciousness expanding, merging with the ship's awakening awareness. She was herself. She was the ship. She was every member of her crew. Warning klaxons blared as power levels exceeded all known safety limits. Hull integrity at 120% and rising. Wang reported, his voice echoing both audibly and mentally. The quantum core it's evolving. The stellar dawn structure began to shift, ancient nanomaterials activating after millions of years of dormancy. The ship's hull flickered with patterns of light that matched the crew's neural rhythms. They weren't just flying the ship anymore. They were becoming part of it. By the first ones, the keeper whispered, "It's accepting you even better than we hoped." The merger is stabilizing. Through their shared consciousness, Chen felt every aspect of her transformed vessel. The quantum weapons were now tied directly to their collective will. The defensive systems responded to their thoughts faster than any computer could process. They were no longer just a crew operating the ship. They were something entirely new. Final transformation complete, the keeper announced. The Stellar Dawn is now a true legacy ship, the first created since the age of the first ones. Chen opened her eyes, seeing both through them, and through the ship's countless sensors. The transformation had changed them all, but they were still human. Still themselves, just more. Legacy ship Stellar Dawn. Vexthor's voice came through their enhanced communications. Your readings are beyond anything we expected. Are you still with us? We are, Chen replied, her voice carrying the harmonic resonance of their collective consciousness. The ship, the crew, we're one now, and we're ready. Outside, the assembled fleet watched in awe as the Stellar Dawn's hull rippled with patterns of light that spoke of power beyond normal spacetime. The ship had become a weapon of the first ones, guided by human consciousness, ready to face the horror that approached. The Void Hunters have increased speed, Kissal reported from her battle sphere. They sense us. They're coming. Through their enhanced perception, Chen and her crew could feel it too. A vast darkness approaching, ancient and hungry, but they were no longer afraid. The Stellar Dawn hummed with power, its consciousness intertwined with theirs, ready for the battle ahead. All ships. Chen broadcasted to the fleet, her voice carrying both authority and the strange resonance of their transformation. Take formation. We are humanity's contribution to this fight, and we will not fail. The legacy ship Stellar Dawn moved into position at the head of the fleet, its quantum core pulsing with power that could reshape reality. The greatest battle in galactic history was about to begin, and humanity's greatest warship had become something that even the first ones might have feared. The darkness approached, but they were ready. They were no longer just a crew, no longer just a ship. They were humanity's answer to an ancient nightmare, and they would show the galaxy why their species had been chosen for this moment. The final battle was about to begin. The void between galaxies erupted with light as the Void Hunters emerged from hyperspace, their massive forms blotting out the stars. They were living darkness, cosmic entities that consumed entire civilizations, and they were hungry. But for the first time in their ancient existence, they faced a prepared galaxy. The legacy ship Stellar Dawn led the unified fleet, its transformed hull pulsing with quantum energy that defied the laws of physics. Through their shared consciousness, Captain Chen and her crew felt the approaching darkness like a physical weight. All ships, battle positions, Chen commanded, her voice carrying through both conventional channels and the neural network. Remember the plan. Remember what we're fighting for. The Void Hunters moved with impossible speed for their size, their dark mass spreading across space like living shadows. The first wave of their attack came not as weapons, but as fear itself, a psychic assault that threatened to overwhelm the defenders' minds. But the Stellar Dawn's crew, joined in their hybrid consciousness, stood firm. Their merged awareness created a beacon of defiance that steadied the entire fleet. Through their enhanced senses, they could see the patterns of reality itself, could perceive the quantum strings that the hunters used to tear space apart. "Now," Chen ordered, and the Stellar Dawn's quantum core pulsed with power. Reality rippled as ancient weapons awakened. The defense network, dormant for millions of years, sprang to life. Streams of pure energy lanced out from the Stellar Dawn, connecting with the other ships, creating a web of power that the hunters could not easily breach. "The network is active," Dr. Wang reported through their shared consciousness. "All ships are synchronized. Quantum resonance at maximum." The Void Hunters reacted with fury, launching attacks that bent space itself. Entire sections of the fleet vanished into temporary pocket universes, while others faced weapons that aged ships thousands of years in seconds. But the Stellar Dawn, guided by human intuition and enhanced by First One technology, anticipated these attacks. The ship moved with impossible grace, its quantum shields redirecting the hunters' energy back at them. "They're trying to separate us," Commander Jackson observed through their link. "Don't let them break the formation." The battle raged across dimensions, ships weaving through tiers in spacetime, as reality itself became a weapon. The hunters were ancient and powerful, but they had never faced a unified galaxy, had never encountered a species like humanity, whose very unpredictability made them dangerous. Through their neural link, Chen felt every victory, every loss. Arcturian dreadnoughts fell, while Meridian battle spheres unleashed weapons that turned space itself into a weapon. The hunters were being wounded, but the cost was horrific. "The quantum core is reaching critical levels," Wang warned. "We can't maintain this output much longer." Chen knew he was right. The Stellar Dawn's power was immense, but even First One technology had limits. They needed to end this now, before the hunters could adapt to their strategies. "All ships, fall back," she commanded. "Create a perimeter. We're going to end this." The fleet moved as one, creating a sphere around the Stellar Dawn. The ship's quantum core began to pulse with increasing power, drawing energy from the very fabric of spacetime. "Captain," the Keeper's voice came through their network. "What you're attempting, it could tear reality itself apart." "Better that than letting them feed," Chen replied, feeling her crew's agreement through their link. "Everyone, prepare for final convergence." The Stellar Dawn's consciousness expanded, drawing power from the defense network, from the quantum core, from the very void itself. The ship's hull became transparent, revealing the pure energy contained within. The Void Hunters sensed the danger too late. They tried to retreat, but the defense network held them in place. The Stellar Dawn's power reached its peak, reality trembling around them. "For Earth," Chen whispered. "For all life." The legacy ship Stellar Dawn released its power in a single reality-shattering burst. Space itself seemed to scream as quantum energy cascaded through the hunters' dimensional matrices, unraveling their very existence. The darkness that had threatened all life began to fade, the hunters' ancient forms dissolving into quantum particles. Their death throes sent shockwaves through spacetime, but the unified fleet held firm. When the light faded, the Void Hunters were gone. The galaxy was safe, though forever changed by what had occurred. The Stellar Dawn floated at the center of the defense network, its power dampened but its victory absolute. "Status report," Chen called, feeling the exhaustion through their shared link. "The hunters are destroyed," Wang confirmed. "Their quantum signatures have been completely dispersed. They won't be coming back." The assembled fleet began to celebrate, each species in their own way. But aboard the Stellar Dawn, Chen and her crew felt something else. The weight of what they had become, of what humanity had proven itself to be. "The galaxy will never be the same," the Keeper observed, its energy form pulsing with what might have been pride. "You have earned your place among the great civilizations." Chen looked out at the stars, feeling them both through her human eyes and through the ship's enhanced perceptions. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Humanity had proven itself worthy of the legacy of the first ones. The Stellar Dawn turned toward home, its hull still shimming with quantum energy. They had changed, evolved into something new. But they were still human, still driven by the same courage and determination that had brought them to the stars. The galaxy's greatest threat had been vanquished, and humanity's greatest warship had become a legend. The dawn of a new era had begun, and Earth would help lead the way into whatever came next. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if celebrating with them. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity had found its place among the stars, and nothing would ever be the same again.